it's not like you cannot let go. The thing is, you can, but you are in this mistaken belief that if you stayed a little longer, that if you held on to these things for just a little bit more, maybe things will change, maybe everything will happen just the way you want it to. Look, the thing is, you are not seeing them for who they are. You are just seeing and staying for their potential. And that's just not the right thing to do, because this is exactly why you are not able to move on. This is exactly why you are not able to let go. And here is the truth. You don't want closure. You just want a different ending. You want them to choose you. You want them to see you. You want them to, well, finally understand you. You want all your long paragraphs to finally do what you need them to do. But I guess it's time that you realize that it is not going to happen, and that no matter how long you stay, it's not going to create any difference. Look, hope is a beautiful, beautiful thing until it becomes the only reason you're stuck, that you cannot grow. And let's be frank, you are not staying for them. You're staying for the potential. You're staying for the habit of those late night conversations and the sweet, sweet good morning texts and the feeling of almost love. And now let's talk about what's really happening here. Look, what you're going through is not just emotional, it's actually neurological. And this is something that I have dealt with in great depth in my last video, that inconsistent attention and affection can cause deep and serious addiction. And what you're going through right now is not nothing. So you are not actually staying for them. You're not just attached to them. You are attached to that rush of relief that you feel in your chest every time they text you, every time they call you, every time they make you feel chosen and validated and, well, loved and safe even. Because this is the problem with addiction. It robs your ability to see the reality, the actual reality of what's happening. So when you try to let go and when you try to break free of this, out of this loop, it feels wrong, it feels uncomfortable. You begin to panic, you feel like, no, I'm supposed to stay, because staying for long gives you a hope of change that you're so willing to see. And what you need to fully understand is that you're not losing them. They were never really what you wanted them to be. You are just grieving a story, a myth. You're not grieving a reality. And this needs to be remembered. And now let's fix that. Number one, this is the time for reality versus fiction. Take a piece of paper, draw a line, and write down. Yes, you actually need to write down. Write down what you thought is true versus what it turned out to be. Write down all the times that it happened. And for once, please be honest with yourself. For God's sake, be honest with yourself. And when you're done writing now, you'll see a huge gap. And that gap is where your misery lives. That gap is where all the pain, all the suffering that you have been living with, that you've been struggling with, lives. And remember, your pain did not come from losing them. It came from believing something that was never true in the first place. And now, coming to the second point, you need to starve the addiction. Look, what I have said in my previous videos several times is that what you feed grows, what you starve dies. And that's precisely what you need to do with your addiction. What it means is that no longer, visiting their profile, no longer calling or texting them by mistake, and definitely no longer bringing them up with their common friends in order to keep tabs. Because every small peak reopens the wound. Remember, you don't need more information. You just need less access. And here's the third point. sit with the urge. When you get the urge to text them, don't. Sit with the discomfort. See what happens. You'll feel that it rises, it peaks, and then it just passes like a wave. Look, you need to remember an urge is not a command, it is just a sensation. And the longer you learn to sit with it, the longer you learn to, well, soldier through the discomfort, the less power it has over you. Coming to the fourth point, reclaim your self respect. Remember, how many times did you ignore the red flags? How many times did you settle for the bare minimum? How many times did you endure the abuse? How many times did you ignore your needs and demands and wants just so that they would stay? But now is the time to change that. Show up for yourself the way you wanted them to show up for you. Remember, when you choose yourself now, the attachment, that sting that you're feeling begins to lose its grip over you. This is how you make it lose all of its power. And here is the fifth point. Make peace with reality. Make peace with what actually happened. Stop waiting for closure. Stop waiting for their apology. Stop waiting for a text that actually explains why they did what they did to you, because that is not going to do any good. Reclaim your power. It is up to you to decide where it ends. It is up to you to decide when you finally put a stop to all the anxiety and confusion and the lack of love and attention and affection and care. It is all up to you. It is you who decides when to put an end to this misery. Let this dawn upon you that missing them is not a good enough reason for you to go back to them. Just because you love them doesn't mean that you have to endure all that they put you through. If it costs you your peace, it's way too expensive. So if you ask me, you're not losing them. You're losing a version of you that was ready to settle for less. And I think it's a win. So every time you start spiraling, which might happen, believe you me, come back to this video, watch it again, and send it to any of your friends or family members or basically anyone who needs to listen to all of this. Like it, share it, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Bye.